I thought it was just a fun night out with my boss, until I came home at 2 a.m. and found the letter on the table. My husband's reaction. I never saw it coming. My name's Kelly, I'm 30 years old, and I really need to just get this off my chest. It all started last month when my boss, the one who seems to know all the right people, invited me to a concert. Not just any concert though, a VIP experience with backstage passes and everything. Obviously, I was excited. It's the kind of thing most people could only dream about, and I was getting this chance because of my work. I mean, I deserve it, right? I work hard, and I've earned some fun, some luxury, right? Anyway, I told my husband Jeff about the invitation, and he was kind of indifferent. He always plays it cool, but I could tell something was off. He wasn't excited like I was. He didn't even seem thrilled I was getting this opportunity. Still, I didn't think much of it. He's always been a bit of a homebody, doesn't like going out much unless it's to the bar with his buddies or whatever. His loss, honestly. But here's where it gets interesting. Jeff wasn't exactly supportive, but he didn't put up a fight either. He just kind of shrugged it off and said, "Yeah, go if you want." He was acting like he didn't care, and that irritated me a little. I wasn't expecting a parade or anything, but a little more enthusiasm would have been nice. He could have at least pretended he was happy for me. Instead, he acted like I was going to a dentist appointment, so I went to the concert. I was gone the whole night, and I'll admit, I had a blast. I was living it up in that VIP section, getting free drinks, chatting with people who actually mattered in this world, and I'm not even going to lie, I felt good. I mean, sure, Jeff was home with the kids, but I wasn't thinking about him. I was too busy being treated like a queen by everyone else. By the time I got home, it was around 2 a.m. I was a little tipsy, maybe a little too tipsy, but who cares, right? I'd had a great time. But when I walked in the door, Jeff was sitting on the couch. I figured he'd be asleep by now, but nope, he was wide awake, just sitting there looking at me with this look I can't even describe. I don't know, almost disappointed. He didn't say anything right away. He just stared at me, and I was just standing there in my concert gear, still holding on to the high of the night. I should have felt guilty. He had been home with the kids while I was out partying, but I didn't. I wasn't even thinking about that at the time. All I could think about was how amazing the night had been, and how stupid Jeff was acting. He could have at least asked me how it went, right? But instead of "How was the concert?" or "Did you have fun?" he handed me an envelope, a letter. I looked at him confused. "What's this?" I asked, already knowing it wasn't good. He wasn't the type to hand me letters, especially at 2 in the morning. "You'll see," he said, his voice flat, like he wasn't even trying to care anymore. I opened the letter. It wasn't long, just a few sentences, but it hit me like a ton of bricks. The letter was a note from Jeff, and it was about how he didn't feel appreciated anymore, how he felt like he was just a background character in my life, and how I'd been getting more and more distant. I could feel the guilt starting to creep in, but honestly, it didn't stick. I remember reading it and thinking, this is stupid. I mean, I had just come off this high from the concert, and now here I was standing in front of my husband, who was acting all dramatic over a letter. I didn't know how to respond. I didn't even think I needed to respond. "Why are you making such a big deal out of nothing?" I said, putting the letter down. "Is this about me going to a concert?" "Maybe," he said, not looking at me. "Maybe it's about how you never put me first anymore. You always go out, always have fun, but I'm just stuck here with the kids. It's like I don't even matter." I rolled my eyes. "Oh, come on, Jeff. You're acting like I never do anything for you. I work, I take care of the house, and now you're mad because I went to a concert, a work thing, by the way." He didn't say anything for a second, then he finally looked me dead in the eyes. "You've been doing this a lot lately, going out, not caring about what's going on at home. You don't even notice. Maybe I'm just tired of pretending like it doesn't bother me." The words stung a little, but I couldn't show it. I wasn't wrong. I deserved that night out, so why was he making it about something else? Why couldn't he just let me have fun? I just shook my head. "Look, Jeff, I don't know what you're trying to say, but I'm not going to sit here and feel bad for going to a concert. I'm not going to apologize for having a good time." He stood up like he was done with this conversation, and walked into the other room. I could hear him sighing from the next room, and I felt this little stab of frustration. Why is he making me feel guilty for something I didn't even do wrong? But I didn't care, not then. I was too busy thinking about the concert, about everything I'd missed out on. Jeff could be mad if he wanted, but this was my life, my opportunity, so I let him sulk in the next room. I didn't even bother trying to talk to him anymore. What was the point, anyway? That's when the night ended, and looking back, maybe there were a few signs that I messed up, but I didn't really see it that way at the time. I was having fun, and that's all that mattered to me. So yeah, that's where we are right now, and I'm just getting started. The next day, things weren't any better. Jeff was still distant, still moody, and I honestly had no idea what to do about it. He wasn't talking to me, wasn't looking at me the same way. It was like he was giving me the silent treatment, but I wasn't about to chase him down. I had things to do, and I sure as hell wasn't going to let this whole thing mess up my vibe. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized he wasn't just mad about the concert. It was something deeper. I'd been feeling like things had been off between us for a while now, but I didn't think much of it. Maybe because I didn't want to, maybe because I was too busy with my own life to care. He'd been distant, sure, but I figured he'd get over it. Men were like that, right? They got moody and needed their space, and then they'd come around. That's how it always worked. But by the time the kids were in bed that night, I couldn't ignore it anymore. Jeff was sitting there like he'd been waiting for me to finally confront him. I wasn't ready to apologize, but I also wasn't about to let him think he could hold this over my head forever, so I sat down across from him, trying to act calm, but it was hard. I could feel the tension in the room. "All right, what's really going on, Jeff?" I asked, crossing my arms. I wasn't going to beg for his attention, but at this point, I was done with the cold shoulder. He didn't even look at me at first, he just kept staring at the TV like I wasn't even there, and that pissed me off more than anything. Why was he acting like I was the problem? Like I wasn't the one who had been stuck at home with 2 kids, while he was out doing whatever he wanted. "I don't know, Kelly," he said, finally turning his eyes to me. "Maybe I'm just tired of being ignored, tired of being your